right now?
So yeah, so actually right now, the way that it's set up, so we are introducing playlists.
Okay, so let's talk about playlists and why this is being implemented into Battlefield.
So one of the biggest complaints, or biggest feedback items, I should say, from the community is getting into matches quickly. And so the team huddled together and came up with the idea of building out playlists that allows players to quickly just click it. Hey, I want to play a 40-player mode because I like the larger scale modes. Okay. I'll get right in there. Or hey, I like smaller modes. I can go right in there. What we're doing for Outer Rim is its own unique playlist that has all the modes within. You click on Outer Rim. They're all 8v8 modes. You get in the match. It's basically from start to finish. That playlist is about 8 to 9 hours of gameplay before you'll see the end.
That's a lot of gameplay.
Yeah, so that's a lot of modes, a lot of maps, transitioning through the different game modes, extraction. Now that's not to say, like, this was something that we want to test with the launch of Outer Rim. Now, going back to listening to the community and gathering their feedback, as players kick off and request more specific options around maybe Outer Rim or future DLC content, we want to make, if the community is like, hey, we love extraction, we want specific extraction mode access, that's something we can potentially do. And so the whole focus of it is to get players into modes quickly. Now, if you do want to play specific maps and you do want to play specific modes, you do still have that option. You just have to click through and actually select it like you do now. But the playlists are there to make ease of access so players can get into games very quickly across the board.
Awesome. So we have chat set up. So throughout the stream, I would love chat to ask Matt a question. Any questions you have for him. He's not a developer. He's definitely not a developer.
I work with the development team.
You work with the dev team a lot.
Yes.
But
Dennis. So for those of you watching Level Cap and Jack earlier, and Dennis will be joining you
most definitely
shortly. Or in a little bit, but I work with Dennis very closely. We email each other and talk with each other on Skype or phone.
So you guys are like
daily
best friends.
We're like BFFs.
Cute.
I wish I want his hair.
He's got luscious locks of hair.
Amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, most definitely chime in, chat with questions. If you want to ask Matt a specific question, maybe in.
Here's one. So Kelp 4690S, new blasters?
Yeah, okay, let's talk about new weapons.
Sure, I don't know, well,
so right now
I don't want you to die.
No, but right now I'm using it's a single shot, I don't even know the name. We'll take a look, because Pool Shark just killed me.
Thanks, Pool Shark.
Thanks, Pool Shark. So we're gonna take a look at what we're using, the Relby V10.
So yes, there's new weapons. Again, the Outer Rim content will launch with the Relby V10 and, if you go back to the bottom one, and the D12.
Okay.
So you'll have access to those. You'll unlock those through our new HUT contract feature.
And just to clarify, the HUT contracts are available for everybody.
Correct. So all of our new weapons from now moving forward are going to be released through HUT contracts.
Cool.
So not only are you having let me step back here. So a lot of players have said, hey man, I'm level 50. I have a gazillion credits. I'm worried that I'm gonna get the Outer Rim content and I'm just gonna go buy all my weapons and be done with it.
Okay.
We wanted to avoid that.
Sure.
So that's where Jabba the Hutt comes in. He's sly and you have to pay him money.
He's kind of gross.
And he'll give you some cool stuff. So with that, you go to the HUT contracts and basically you're paying Jabba to complete a contract. There's different tiers of those contracts. Again, the weapons and the new Scar cards are in there, especially different levels. So you can have your standard Star card plus the Black Edition. And in that, each one is tied to challenges. So you pay credits to unlock it. Okay. Then you need to complete the outline challenges to basically complete it. And then you go redeem the contract and you now have that shiny new weapon.
Cool.
But again, just to highlight, there's content that's specific to Outer Rim, so if you own the Outer Rim content, you get access to those weapons and those star cards, but we also have free content in there, so there'll be 2 new weapons for the community to, like everybody, regardless if you own Outer Rim or not, that they gain access to that, and everyone will gain access to that on March 22nd. So Outer Rim launches for Season Pass holders on March 22nd, and we have basically what I'm calling the feature update patch that also launches alongside that everyone will get that, and that allows all players to reach rank 60, gives them access to HUT contracts, so if they have Season Pass, they get all the contracts for the star cards and weapons, and plus the 2 free ones. But players who don't own Outer Rim will have 2 weapons to work towards and unlock. And you are just going at it.
Dude, I am gonna spank my kid. All right. So Luke is getting put in the corner right now. He was a whiny. And actually, he put Daddy in the corner, which was weird sounding.
And one thing some people might notice is Vader lived a lot longer.
He did. He's very tanky. Before in the beta he was really tanky.
He was.
And then they kind of, I don't want to say nerf, because nerf is kind of a negative word, but they
balanced.
They balanced him. They balanced him out a little bit. And
we sucked a little force from him.
And now we gave that force back.
So yeah, obviously there's a pretty large patch update. We listen to the community. We look at the data on the backside. The dev team is always looking on how can we balance things, how can we improve across the board. And it's not just specific to the weapons, but it's specific to how players are utilizing content within the specific game modes across the board. So Darth Vader was one big hero.
Yeah.
He was one of the biggest heroes that people felt that he's Darth Vader. He needed to be stronger. He needed to have better abilities. And some of the things that we're bringing in the Outer Rim update that comes to everybody is, his ability to block shots coming at him is now longer. So it moved up from 4 seconds to 8 seconds. So he's a lot more defensive in that right. His saber throw goes further. He has a little bit more health. So he just feels like a more dominant force across the battlefront now.
He's a very slow-moving character from the get-go, so you'd think someone who's that slow is going to be a lot stronger, which is a good change.
I think the community is really going to like what we've done with them. Again, a lot of it's based on feedback, and a lot of it's also based on our dev team just looking at the data, looking at the numbers, and making sure all the heroes get balanced appropriately. And that's not the only change. There's a lot of changes across the boards. There's some changes coming to the heroes. Across the board, maybe even some changes to Boba Fett. I know that's another big one. People felt we balanced him maybe a little too much.
Yeah, like his tracking rockets, I think, could definitely.
So there's some things, I'm going to save those for the patch notes.
Sure.
Mainly because I don't have them in front of me and my memory doesn't jog me the exact number, so I don't want to give you guys false hope or wrong data. But do know that there's a lot of changes. There's also some balances coming to the weapons too. But some of the other bigger features are, for gamers out there who they've been wanting private match, we obviously launched that.
Which is great.
We basically called that our phase 1.
Yep.
We have a great thread going on in the official forums around that on what kind of features you would like to see in private match from the community side. One of the biggest things that we had from pre-launch and even post-launch was spectator mode. So that is actually something that's launching as well, so players can spectate in private matches. So that opens the doors for a lot of different things.
That's awesome. I mean, like community events, even like guys who really like making like cinematic videos on YouTube, like that's something that I know has definitely been asked since launch. So that's really awesome to hear that it's finally there.
One of those items that the community's been asking for, and we wanted to bring to the forefront and get it out there for the players requesting it. The other thing is, and I'm sure you guys saw it in the trailer, is combat roll.
Yeah.
Now, this was something that boiled up during the beta. Obviously, combat roll is something very loved within the first 2 Battlefront titles, and it's really something the team wanted to bring to the game. Now, you'll notice one difference from our combat roll from the originals is in our combat roll, you can only go side to side. We wanted to avoid snowballs on Hoth, but it's a cool feature that we're adding. Again, we'd love to hear you guys' feedback once you guys get your hands on it. Check it out. Jump into the forums and let us know what you guys think, because we're open to, potential changes to it and how it functions and across the board. So, but again, that's another feature of listening to what the community wanted. Yes, it might have taken a little longer than what you guys had hoped for it to come, but it is coming to the game.
Sure.
And one of the other things is, we're not really playing an objective-based game outside of killing the heroes.
Yeah.
But we added a new feature that we're calling Focus Play. And hopefully we'll get to a mode, and I'll go into more details once we actually see a mode with objective-based gameplay.
Now, what was I'm pretty sure like Jack and Level, they touched on it.
They did.
But what was was that something that was asked from the community, or is that something like the dev team felt like that was needed for the game?
A little bit of both, really. The community had been asking for how can we bring better team play, teamwork to the game. There's a big request across the forums, big request across Reddit, across the board. We're reading all those channels all the time. We're responding when we can. I know some of you guys would love for us to respond more, but we don't like to get your hopes up if we can avoid it.
Right.
Because we want to wait until we can confirm that the feature is going to work how we think it's going to work, make sure it's top quality, and then get it out there into your hands and then be able to announce it.
Most definitely.
And I hear you, we hear you guys loud and clear.
Yeah.
I hear you guys loud and clear. I know myself and Dennis and many of the other dev team members are very active in the forums and reading all your guys' feedback.
Yeah, even like on Twitter and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's
I'm getting tweets daily. Solo players do matter.
I don't get that hashtag.
It's a great hashtag. Okay. But the team has a lot planned for the game moving forward. A lot of free stuff still coming. I can't get into the nitty-gritty details, but we will focus on the Outer Rim stuff today. I know Dennis he may have hinted at things throughout the other streams. So if you missed those, I'm sure you'll be able to go back and watch Level Cap stream and also Jack Frack stream.
Yeah, all these are going to be archived.
I don't know if you're going to win that fight against that hero.
No,
with your little
he scares me. He scares me a lot. So I threw my fart grenade at him, and I forgot. But like, so even like just like the Dioxis grenade and the stim card, like were these things that people wanted to see again, or is that just through the development process?
I mean, I would say the community wanted more. They wanted more weapons, more star cards. There's a million threads on forums and Reddit on all the different types of weapons that were seen or heard about or seen on a table or on a character in the background from the original trilogy. I mean, there's a pretty large list of weapons that are available, and our team is slowly going to be adding those.
That's cool.
I mean, obviously you guys know about the Relby and the D19, is it the D19X?
The DLC 19X, which is what I'm actually using right now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this is the sniper rifle, which the only sniper rifle we've seen in the game so far.
Well, outside of the cycler rifle. You mean as a primary weapon?
Well, I mean, really any rifle that with long range was the cycler rifle, but now you can actually have a primary sniper rifle, which is good because there's those snipers that are out there that like sniping. There's actually like a community out there of just snipers.
There is, and a lot of it is making sure it feels still authentic to Star Wars. There's a lot of players. There's a lot of everything. So, and players giving them the ability for their loadouts and stuff. Like, yes, we're going to run into situations where it feels like everyone, like the bowcaster, everyone was jumping around with bowcasters at one time. Or everyone's running around with grenade, like impact grenades or
impact grenade, and then you got the barrage.
Those things still happen, and yes, it kind of jars the authenticity side of things, but
it's a video game.
It is, but our team's working really hard to make sure, one, that the weapons by themselves feel authentic, and also the players have a choice to build those out.
And that's one of the things with Battlefront.
Greedo.
I got Greedo. And
nice.
So let's talk about like the new heroes a little bit. So we've got Greedo and we've got Num Num.
Yes.
I feel like it's like Num Num. Is it Num Num?
He's a cool character.
He is a cool guy. He's Celestian.
He is. So obviously the two new maps are on Solus.
And on.
And it would make complete sense that we have a Celestian on Solus with this pack. And then obviously with the whole launch with more Tatooine focus, so Jabba's Palace and the garage, Greedo fits in really well as a
I just kicked Num Num's butt. He just got destroyed.
Well, I don't think they were playing him as he needs. So the cool thing with these two new heroes is they are unique.
Yeah.
They bring in new features. So Greedo, his entire focus revolves around his confidence meter. And you can actually see it at the bottom of the screen above his health, and you're getting wrecked.
Well, okay. Well, going back to playstyles, these guys aren't really aggressive players.
Not. So, well, let's just be honest. Greedo, I don't think, is the most successful bounty hunter in all of the galaxy.
Who shot first?
I have no idea.
Depends on what
comments.
Star Wars you're watching.
Anyways. So with Greedo, it's all about the confidence. You'll notice he's a lot faster. It's just an inherent ability that he has as being Greedo, and you got owned by Pool Shark again.
Pool Shark. He's not even here.
He's a little bit faster, but he's more of that dart in, dart out, take out the enemies. But as he gets more kills, or does more damage to heroes, his confidence meter is going to grow, and with that, you'll start seeing unlocks of his. So his primary star card or ability is with the weapons. So he starts with a lowly grenade all the way up to a thermal imploder.
Yeah.
And they just get stronger and stronger. The other side is some of his abilities. And Dennis can speak to this more. I should not be speaking to all this.
It's
stuff.
okay. I mean,
Dennis is amazing.
Yeah, but you're as involved with this as much as
I am.
he is.
No, I definitely am. But I mean, so Dennis Brännvall's here from DICE. For those of you who haven't seen Dennis yet, he'll be on the stream a little bit later, and he'll be able to answer these more technical questions. Yeah, I mean, the team's been working really hard to bring these characters to life, and also we work directly alongside Lucasfilms, and in choosing who these characters are going to be with the content.
So let's see. Like, we want to take another question from the chat.
When is it coming out for season pass holders? 22nd question. That is from Snaps Try. Yes. So March 22nd, season pass holders will gain access to Outer Rim specific content, but also all players will gain access to the feature updates that we've been highlighting also on March 22nd.
Awesome.
And then non-season pass holders, 2 weeks post that release of March 22nd, will gain access
to
be able to buy the content. That's one of the benefits of buying the season pass. You get access 2 weeks early.
Yeah. And you just get a lot of cool stuff. So will heroes be?
Sorry, go ahead.
Will heroes be able to be played in vanilla?
Yes.
Game modes.
So if you do own Outer Rim, you will be able to play those heroes like in Walker Assault and all that greatness. Someone asked, "Is there going to be new trophies or achievements?" Sorry, I didn't catch your name, but they asked it. Yes. There will be 5 new items to unlock, and also 2 new diorama pieces.
Cool.
Which is both Greedo
That's exciting.
and Mr. Neon.
I do like my dioramas. I wish I could like have those dioramas in real life, and just have them set up in my studio.
That would be pretty amazing.
It would be cool,
especially like a huge real diorama. Just build it out.
Yeah, just a big diorama with like AT-ATs and X-wing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It'd be cool.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, Millennium Falcon is pretty awesome. So, was some of the changes were made with like the Millennium Falcon and things like that? Is that?
So yes, so some of the other changes coming with the feature update. A lot of players complained about ramming. It was kind of fun. It was fun to do, but if 2 big giant starfighters, are flying at each other and crash, what should happen? They should both die, and they will now.
Awesome.
So that is a big fix, or that is a patch update coming to the game. So no more crazy ship ramming. Now, if you try to ram the Millennium Falcon with a smaller ship, your ship will be destroyed, and the hero ship will survive. So that is one difference. But,
cool. I'm sure people are very happy about that change being made.
Any more Jedi heroes? So we're only talking about the 2 new heroes adding with Outer Rim, but do know we will have more heroes coming in future content. So until then, stay tuned.
Tease. So
yes,
big tease.
I don't like shying away from questions.
The rebels just eliminated one of our own.
Let's see here. It's going fast.
So here's a question from Mitchell. Asks, how does Greedo's confidence meter work? So the confidence meter works by getting kills. So the more kills you get,
or doing damage to heroes.
So just the amount of just kills and damage upgrades your grenades.
Correct.
And also, I think his targeting ability also upgrades as well. So your whole job is just to kill as many people as possible. To then it goes from Dioxis grenade to thermal detonator to.
You know better than me at this point.
And there's one other grenade, and then the last grenade is the thermal imploders, the dubstep grenades.
Is it? Yeah, Dennis is shaking his head.
Yeah,
yes.
Dennis is shaking his head.
Dennis is right off screen over here. We're gonna have him come on shortly.
But he's been doing this all day. Like he's a champ.
I made him go eat lunch.
Good.
And that's honestly why I'm here.
So no, you're here because I asked you to be here.
That's true.
But so that's how it works. Is that so the more kills you get, the more cool abilities you get.
Yeah, but
same for Neo now.
So, but there's a downside to that. So, and if you could build up your confidence meter, but if you go try to dodge being attacked or being in battle, you will lose it.
It degrades.
Yes.
Over time.
Yes.
Cool.
So it does have an upside. So it's all about popping in and out, getting those kills, getting around corners, flanking. You got to be pretty strategic with him. But he once you get his confidence up, he is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. So right now we are on cargo. We're doing some cargo.
Sweet.
Cool. So there was another question. Someone asked. It was a really good question. It was by Melon. And the chat's moving so fast. It was by Melon. I totally missed it. Melon, ask your question again because it was a good question. I was going to ask and then it was gone.
I'm watching for it. Non-DLC peeps. What did they get?
Okay, so there you go, Matt.
Perfect. So this is from Sir Mr. J. So non-DLC peeps, you're going to get 2 new weapons to unlock via hut contracts. You're going to get all the new feature updates coming, so you're going to get the level increase from 50 to 60. You're going to get the new focus play. You're going to get combat role. You're going to get spectator mode. Just a lot of those features. Again, a lot of our free content that was bigger maps and stuff has launched. Obviously, we had our March update that brought the new Indoor on Fire map. I call it Indoor on Fire.
What is the actual official name for it? At this point,
my mind
is just gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've always just called it the Indoor on Fire map.
Fair enough.
And yeah, I'm fired.
He's fired.
That's it. Survival's on Indoor.
Okay.
Thank you, Dennis. Love you.
Cargo has been
He's shaking his head. Oh, Sledge.
Oh,
Sledge.
Oh, Matt.
And I'm sure he asked that question again, and we were not paying attention. So
Sorry,
let's bring
Melon. It was a good question. It was honestly a really good question. I was like, that's perfect to ask, and now it's gone.
There will not be upgrade packs for DLC content.
stormtroopers return.
So,
And now we don't.
I just saw that, but it went through. EA. Oh God, it's going so fast. Is it on slow mode?
It is not on. I did not put it on slow mode.
You
No,
are
we might have to
fired.
put it on slow mode.
Sorry, we are on. Tim has. Is this an iPad?
It's a Surface. It's a Surface tablet.
Oh, Surface. Sorry.
It's Surface.
Oh, it's got a big fat Windows. logo.
big Windows logo on it. Yeah.
We get more offline. Yeah, I mean, will you get more offline content? We never want to say no. We don't have anything to share today, but do know that I don't say this jokingly, but solo players do matter. A lot of you guys have been asking for it, and our team is looking at what they can do.
Well, that was definitely a thing from other Battlefront titles, and that was
for
definitely iconic.
You know, so again, we have nothing to share now. Again, the team is looking at what can be done, but until something can be locked in or shared.
Sure.
Until then.
Someone just asked if the new heroes will be able to be played in the offline hero modes, and that you can. I was actually able to do that.
So at launch of Outer Rim, the new heroes will not be available.
Oh, they're
in the
not going to be
missions.
available. Okay.
Not at launch, but it is something that we're patching in.
Cool. So at some point in time, you will be actually able to try them out.
Yes.
Cool.
So the new heroes are available in the multiplayer modes at launch.
Sweet.
And they'll be coming to the mission modes if you own the game.
Well, there you go. Cool. Why didn't you put Jabba in? I don't know why Jabba's not in there, but there's some really cool stuff
that's a
in
good
Jabba's
question for
palace.
Dennis.
There's some really neat things in Jabba's palace, though, like the Rancor and the Grimorian guards, and
Yes.
there's a lot of really cool Easter eggs that are in there.
We don't want to spoil them all, but yes,
But Jack already showed them.
He did.
looks so
That's
cool.
true. He showed some of them.
He's like the Easter egg master.
So the Rancor is in his pit, pushed off kind of to the side.
It's so sad. They didn't even bury him. There was no service.
It's a Rancor.
You know, and his buddy was crying. You remember that Return of the Jedi? No. Yeah.
You do that really well.
Yeah. Well, he looks so sad. It was like he lost his dog, and I felt bad for him.
And so star cards and skins. Yes, there's new star cards. They are specific to the Outer Rim, so you need to own Outer Rim to get them. You'll have to unlock them via the hut contracts. And new skins. So, and someone just yell at me if
up
I'm
there.
pronouncing this wrong, but there is a new Weequay. I believe it's Weequay.
That sounds right.
I don't know. I don't know the official. I butcher Darkness's name.
Timmy?
Timmy. But there'll be a new head unlock at level 60.
Cool.
Will cost credits just like the Shadow Trooper was for launch. So, and I believe we can actually show that off in the menu maybe
Yeah,
once
sure.
this round's over.
Most
we
definitely.
can show it. It will be locked. Unfortunately, the account we're playing on isn't level 60 yet, so we can't actually unlock it and play it. But I think I saw one running around earlier today. I think there is a level 60 account over there.
But he looks really cool. If you remember from Return of the Jedi, he's one of Jabba the Hutt's guards that gets
Yes.
kicked off into the Sarlacc pit.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, would you want to be digested for a million years? That sounds depressing.
Yeah, we can show dioramas.
Yeah, sure, most definitely.
We'll see what trophies we can pull up. That's from X Beast Modes.
Imperial skins. There's no new Imperial skin in this expansion pack.
So,
right?
no, there's no Imperial specific.
It's just the
top level.
It's just the weak way.
Yes,
Okay.
but we will be looking to add more skins in the future, so look for those.
Just stay tuned.
But as someone was asking about the power up that's you can pick up, and yes, that's
actually-
available to all players.
It's the one that I'm using right now.
Yes,
Let's see if I
I
can.
think they saw you pick it up and they were asking. So
Hard,
yes,
you have
that
to
is-
charge it all the way up.
That is also an item that becomes available for all players, not just
Awesome.
Outer Rim.
So like Walker Assault on Hoth, you'll see that. It'll be
believe so.
available
I bet,
at some point.
yeah, Dennis is shaking his head yes again.
He's doing a lot of head shaking.
Let's see here.
There's a lot of
questions.
Slave Leia
You
questions.
play, show them epic gameplay. And I'm gonna see if we'll get Dennis in here shortly.
You're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job.
I get really nervous.
I don't know why. it's just people. There's just people watching. Okay. I mean, I don't know about Slave Leia being in the game, but we could get Matt dressed up as Slave Leia.
This is a great one. So Poker Sniper AA.
Okay.
Will heroes versus villains be 8v8? Or is it going to be 6?
What is
So it is going to be 8v8.
Okay.
And so you'll have up to 4 heroes per team.
Cool.
Or hero villains. And we kind of changed the way that you can pick. So we're in cargo.
We are in cargo right now.
So if we had I'm sure we'll have a heroes versus villains cycle back through, and we can show that off. But one of the other things is, I think we're going to launch into one of the original launch maps and show off some changes to Hero Hunt.
Do you want to talk about the changes now, or do you want to wait until we get there?
I want to show it off.
Okay. I'm actually excited for it, because this is, it definitely, I think it makes Hero Hunt a lot more enjoyable.
Are you mic'd up? You're good or no? Okay.
Dennis is ready.
Huh?
How much does each? So
Okay.
we can go back and take a look at the hut contracts later, because I think they vary in price.
Yes, we will. They vary in price. They have different stages of difficulty, so we actually tier rate them internally. So there's some that have 1 challenge, 2 challenge, and 3 challenges that you have to complete to unlock them. But I'm going to jump off and let Dennis come in, because he's a lot cooler than I am.
I mean, you're pretty awesome too. Don't
He
cut
makes
yourself
amazing
short.
games, and I just get to talk to people about them. So.
We all have our strong suits.
So, thanks for letting me on, guys.
Yeah, dude,
Hopefully you
thanks for
enjoy
being here.
what you're seeing, and Dennis is going to come in and can speak to all the crazy details.
Cool.
And yeah.
Awesome.
Peace.
Thanks, Matt.
Oh.
Turn your mic off, please. Dennis.
Hello.
Hello. So you've been doing this all day.
Yes.
You are a trooper.
Well, now I know what it's like to be a full-time Twitch streamer, Tim.
I mean, 8 hours a day. You get used to it.
Yeah.
You get used to it.
Yes.
But so we're Outer Rim. Big release for you guys.
Yeah, the first one of several.
Several
DLCs
So confirmed,
coming.
more DLCs coming.
Yes.
That's you've heard it.
Confirmed.
You heard it here first,
Yes.
folks. More DLCs coming.
More DLCs are coming.
But that's exciting. So, like, what was the big reasons behind wanting to focus on close quarter combat for this DLC? Like,
Well, several reasons really. First of all, we wanted to start things off with the hut contracts, and we felt like Java was just he's just a cool theme to start off with. We also wanted to make more Sullust, because we've actually learned that is quite actually by far the most popular planet.
well, it's also really like, even though it's all volcanic and it's kind of dreary looking, it's really the coolest, I think, out of all the maps. I mean, just the volcano alone looks amazing.
Yeah.
And the magma.
I think it's because also we haven't seen them. We haven't seen the planet before in the movies. We've seen them in some games and some comics, but we haven't seen them maybe as in depth as what we've made with this one. And there's just those 2 planets have so much stories left to tell.
Yeah.
And it just made sense. Okay, what can we do that sort of Jabba's Palace was the obvious one that we wanted to bring into the game, but also Surasub. I mean, it's not as well known as Jabba's Palace, but it's still like a core staple in Star Wars
most
lore.
definitely.
Just with the factories, the Celestans, and all of that. So it made sense to focus on those 2 planets, especially since we had just delivered 2 more big maps on Hoth and Endor. And so we just wanted to let's add the final bits that we have to those planets. I'm not saying that's the last thing you'll see from them, but at least we had some stuff that we really wanted to get out there.
That's cool.
And then when you actually look at what these locations actually look like, then close quarters just made sense.
It does make sense, yeah.
I know, like I love Walker Assault 2. I love my Turning Point. We had just delivered 2 more maps for those modes primarily, and we can't fit an AT-AT inside Jabba's palace. It's like
as cool as it would be.
I tried putting it there. It was cutting through the roof, even though.
Did it like fall over or anything? Like did anything like really weird?
No, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
Yeah, it was just something where everyone involved in making the game, not just DICE, but everyone just figured, okay, this is probably outrageous.
Yeah.
So let's save that for later.
Cool.
Especially since we did just deliver 2 more maps for it. And then we know that, it's Walker Assault, yes, it's our go-to mode, it's the most popular one, but Heroes vs. Villains is actually almost as popular.
Which is crazy to me.
It's super popular.
Yeah.
People love it, and people love Blast because it's the classic team deathmatch thing that people will appreciate. And people were asking for more cargo maps, and it just made sense to sort of, okay, let's focus on that for this pack.
Yeah.
And then we'll focus on like each playlist that we're going to introduce with the DLC, so you're just going to have that sort of specific focus for it. That's what we've done before with other games like Battlefield, where like we had a specific theme for a pack, so you know like what you're getting. And we also want players to feel like even with the release of the next DLC that they can actually go back and like this is the one where you get to play 4-on-4 Heroes vs. Villains. This is like the extraction mode and like all that stuff. So it's sort of its own theme, and people who really love close quarters, and there are quite a few of them. This is the pack for them.
So like Battlefront main focus is always like reliving or making your own Star Wars fantasies.
Sure.
So how did you come up with Greedo and Neonum being like those guys? Like how did you what was the thought? Like how did you think that players were going to be like, this is how they've never really been seen before?
No.
So what is the dev process with that? Like how do you come up with something like that?
You're always going back and forth in regards to like how much actual movie locations and movie people who like get massive screen time and massive focus, and how much do you introduce things that this has not been made into a game before? Yeah. Like the decision between like what planets should we do and why do we add Sullust, for example. That's like those things were like, this is new, this is old, and it made sense with the themes that like the pack started with the levels and the themes, and then the heroes just came along with that. Like we know it, like Neonum doesn't say much, Greedo doesn't stay alive for that long, we know, but we also know that he has, fans do appreciate those as well, and obviously I can't talk about future heroes because we don't want to promise anything and then make people disappointed, but it's not like we're not reading what our players are asking for.
Of course not.
Like we want to deliver everything that they are asking for to as much as we humanly can.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, and the team is, it's just working super hard. Yeah. The guys who worked on Jabba's Palace, the level artist Tim McLeod and Daniel Cambran, they were so passionate with just building Jabba's Palace.
Well, it's got to be really cool because, I mean, Jabba's Palace, you really only get to see the throne room. Like, you get to see just where Jabba is, and, like, all the bounty hunters and stuff are just sleeping there. And the Rancor pit. That's all, and, like, where the droids
a little bit of the
held.
prison, I think, and then some of the droid chamber, but it's, like, briefly.
You don't get to see any of this. I mean, you guys added, like, Jabba's, like, bath pit and stuff. Like, that's got to be really cool to have that level of freedom to really kind of create these areas in the Star Wars universe that have never really been seen before, like this, like the smoke room or whatever you want to call it.
Well, it makes sense that they have like a lounge or a hookah room where Jabba would treat his guests to like little disgusting creatures that they eat, or like I don't know, and it's not just. Sure, it's the creativity of the design and art team at DICE, but it's also the creativity and the love of the universe that Lucasfilm has to it. They're suggesting, they're providing us with suggestions just as much as we're sort of asking for things. Yeah. They were actually the ones who said, well, Jabba needs to take a bath. Like why don't you make a mud bath for him? Like that kind of thing. Where, but for us, it's more like how does it logically make sense that. How do you power this big old palace? Like you need reactors and like all that stuff. So it's always a fun challenge to make cool gameplay levels out of locations that, it's not like when they initially did Jabba's Palace in the movie, that they were like, this will make a great capture the flag map. You know, like that's not how it works. So a lot of it is just, well, you know, where can we take the creative freedoms with it, and at what points do we no, this actually needs to be together. Yeah. Like for example, in the movie, the entrance goes down into the palace, the Jabba's throne room, and the Rancor pit is beneath Jabba's throne room. So we're still sticking true to like, okay, this is what it actually looks like. This is what you can see in the movie, and if it doesn't look like that, then we did not succeed.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
You definitely have some hardcore Star Wars fans out there that, you know, they would definitely like ream you guys on Reddit. And be like, hey, what the hell?
Of course.
So
I don't know how to operate a Surface.
It's okay. I love my Surface.
It looks good. Like I'm not. It's fine.
So right now we're playing Extraction, which is the new game mode that comes with this expansion pack. And so, I mean, this is definitely not a game mode that's new. I mean, we've definitely seen a variance of this game mode before, but like, what were the thoughts going in to make it work within the Star Wars universe and for Battlefront?
Sorry, I was reading, on the questions. Can you come in?
So, like, Extraction is the new game mode that comes with this XP. But it's definitely not a game mode that is brand new. Like, we've seen variants of this game mode before. Like, what were the thoughts into introducing this into Battlefront and making it unique, but like work within the Star Wars universe?
Sure. I mean, it started from we're all pretty old school gamers, many of us. And I personally grew up with Wolfenstein, Enemy Territory, and those types of games. And we love them. All of us love them, and that's probably where that mode sort of first got started. With like, you have to push the tank and all of that stuff. And we wanted to do something similar. It made sense to sort of, we want the game mode that we're introducing for each DLC to tie the theme of the pack together, and it just made sense to have something where, like, okay, rebels actually they've gone inside these places. Why have they done so? Probably because it's like something super important, probably something outlawed that isn't really sanctioned by the Empire. Like they need something that's going to be a big weapon against the Galactic Empire. And that's sort of how we got to thinking about it. Well, okay, what if they have to extract this thing out through the map? But then, so that's like the basics concept of pushing things up through checkpoints. But then the Star Wars flavor, we add to it by adding heroes, making them be connected to each checkpoint. So like you get that feeling of progression.
And in this game mode, speaking of heroes, you can have multiple heroes on the field at the same time. Like, that's got to be hard from just a balancing standpoint to make that all like work when you've got like Luke and Leia, or Han and Luke and Darth, and like it's very interesting. But it works. Yeah, it works out really, really well.
We'll see if we have to do some changes when this thing goes live. It's always problematic when you're making asymmetric game modes because the community they're twice as good at playing the game compared to us. That is just a fact.
Yeah, there's some really good ones out there.
And I've learned it the hard way in making rush maps in Battlefield where this was perfectly balanced, and then when it goes live, then the attackers can't get past the first. And we might run into issues here too. When we have play tested it, the rebels win pretty consistently. They get pretty far. But we do know that the defender's advantage, once things go live, it's rough.
Sure.
People have no conscience online, and that's just the way of it. And so we'll see. If something is unbalanced one way or the other, then we'll be ready with patches and updates.
So do you want to take a question from the chat?
Yeah.
How do HUT contracts work?
How do HUT contracts work? I'm not sure if you can. We'll show it off as soon as this.
We can back out.
Okay, we can back out. Let's do that. They'll be fine without us.
It actually gives me a chance to change my star cards, anyways, because I want to try some of the new ones out.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions about the amount of heroes. I get them 10 times daily.
Sure.
And I get it. We're not going into specific details on that right now. We do read you. We do want to give you as many as we possibly can.
Yeah.
But for now, we're only focusing in on the Outer Rim heroes.
Yeah. So with the Outer Rim, you're getting two You're getting 2 new heroes. You're
Yep.
getting the Celestia in Inum, and you're getting Greedo.
Yeah.
So, do we want to talk about HUD contracts? Take a look at those.
Answer it, loser. Answer it now. Yeah. So you can go down. So pretty much, some of them will be blocked. You need to hit specific levels in order to be able to acquire the contract. Some of them, well, now you have them all unlocked, so we can't really show the exact progression of it. But pretty much, you click on one of them. It has a credit cost attached to it, and then once you click on them, once you buy them, then you get the assignments to complete each one. And you can have several assignments active at any one point, so you can just pretty much buy them and then start playing, and eventually you will unlock them all. We do give you feedback on how close you're getting each, at the end of every round, so you can see how you're progressing.
Cool.
So that's pretty much it.
Sweet. And then so hopefully later on while we're playing, you get back into a game, we can take a look at Hero Hunt. And so there was a big change that was made to Hero Hunt.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about that?
Of course. Yeah, well, we agreed with the community that the way Hero Hunt was working, well, is working today live, is not really working out. It's not a popular mode. It does require a sort of revamp in order to, make it become well, similar to other modes in terms of popularity.
Sure.
We brainstormed a lot, but we decided to actually start with a community suggestion that was made, I think on Reddit or maybe on the official forums, I'm not sure, where pretty much it would be damage based. So the more damage you deliver to the hero, the higher your chance will be of becoming one at the end.
Which, I mean, that's exciting for me, because that was really frustrating when you would do a lot of damage and then
someone else
little Jimmy came over and he would get the last hit
with the smart
rocket. Yeah, and you lost it. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
That's Darth Vader.
That's scary when
he does
Darth
not
Vader
allow you
shows
to
up.
bring the shipment away. Yeah, so that's where we started, and we started with a design pretty much where once the hero was killed, whoever did the most damage to that hero would then become the next hero, which worked fine. It was better, but what we found was that we still had several players who never got to become the hero during a full round, because players who just were better at the mode would constantly just place the highest and then have the highest chance of becoming a hero. It wasn't really everything that we were hoping to deliver with Hero Hunt, so we took that. You can do that.
You can do that, but every time I've tried, I always hit my head.
You can use the Rancor for that.
You have to jump on the Rancor again.
You don't have to, but you can.
Okay.
It helps. It does take some practice. Some of the things on this map, they do take some getting used to.
It's quite the labyrinth. That's one thing that I've learned from playing this, is that I get lost.
That's sort of
a lot.
We're trying. It shouldn't be that you're always getting lost, but
I feel like I'm getting lost.
Then we failed, but it should be a maze. It should be a maze. It should be something where that's Vader. It should be a maze, but once you sort of get used to it, I think you'll figure it out. Yeah. So then we continued on with iterating on Hero Hunt, and we tried out just making it so the damage that you deliver will just continue to count even when a hero is killed.
Right, and so it starts to stack.
Yeah, it stacks pretty much, and then whoever becomes the hero, they get their damage reset.
And then they go down back to the bottom of the list.
Yes, exactly. Another thing we wanted to do was just increase the player count on Hero Hunt, because there are too many instances where heroes would go 50-0.
Like a really good Boba Fett was just unstoppable.
Leia had some good runs too. And that wasn't really the intention of the mode. It was supposed to be hunt the hero, not going to this place where the hero will hunt you down.
Yeah, and I always felt like my KD was just garbage because of just the really good hero players.
Yes. So that was something. Okay, so let's up the player count to 12 instead of 8.
Cool.
And that just made it much more intense for the heroes. It's no longer possible to camp a corner or go into a cave. It's like they will hunt you down.
Yeah, it's just like this huge mob comes after you. It's scary.
Yes, it's like Jack Sparrow running in Pirates of the Caribbean kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so but then we found that with the new design of damage just constantly counting, that eventually with so many players in the pot to become a hero, it just became frustrating for people who just remain on top for the longest time.
Sure.
But since so many people were delivering damage, they would never be counted for, basically. They never became the hero.
Yeah.
So then it was unfair to the players who were, at the top.
Yeah.
So we wanted something in between. Then we decided on just making it so the top 3 players, who are currently the top 3 damage dealers, they go into this heroic wheel of a fortune as it spins, and basically, so that makes the top 3, one of the top 3 will become the hero every time.
And it's a really cool animation now. It shows the percentage, and then you got this nice little pie chart that spins around.
Some cool sounds to it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I want some music in the background.
We wanted the Wheel of Fortune one, but unfortunately, copyrights and all that stuff wasn't going to work out. So yeah, that's what we finally agreed on. We think it's playing out great. We hope the community will agree, and hopefully we'll see Hero Hunt sort of grow in popularity.
Most definitely. And so some things that have been made, just UI changes and stuff at like the end of the screen. You want to talk about that a little bit?
At the end of a round. We know players want to have more individual stats for how they perform during a match.
Yep.
So we're starting out that process now, and again, we're a live service now.
Yeah.
We will continue to update this game for as long as we can. So we're starting out by just giving you a match summary screen at the end. Right now, it only shows like your name and your kills and your death.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot more stats coming. We just weren't able to finish it for this release, but more stuff will be coming for the match summary screen. So yeah, that's
cool.
We want to touch on as many things as we can. Some people have concerns about this. Some people want more heroes. Some people want more maps. Some people want specific things for that mode. Some people want like features that they're asking for, offline content, all that stuff. And we're trying to we'll get to all of them as soon as we can, hopefully.
Yeah.
To some degree at least, and. It's. I
mean, at the end of the day, you can't get to everything.
We can't get
everybody
everything,
happy,
but we will try.
We're definitely on the right track. I mean, like the past couple of updates have been fantastic. Those free updates, like I love that it's not just paid content; it's free content as well, which is really cool to see. So that's a really nice change. Because before, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's behind a paywall," but now, like, they're also, if they can't afford the season pass, they're still getting a lot of really cool content as well, which is neat.
There's a question, will you be able to use new stuff with the old maps? Which is yes, of course. All the star cards, weapons, and traits, whatever we end up delivering will be available in the old content as well, including heroes.
I'm really excited to try out like the sniper rifle, like the new DLT 19X
on Walker Assault.
On Walker Assault on Hoth. Like that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, 9 defending uplinks is quite a pain.
Yeah.
They're actually, that's what. Again, like I know for the purpose of just showing them off, we usually just go with like, let's do a full new hand with all the new stuff.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily how we have designed them, but like each asset card is meant to be combined with, just old stuff.
Right.
You don't need to, you don't need to combine the Dioxys grenade and scattergun. That's not necessarily the best combo you can come up with. It might be. I'm not saying it's a bad combo.
It doesn't work. I was trying to jump pack out the hole that Luke fell through. Does it work?
You should be able to.
Again, I hit my head. I think I'm just bad at jetpacks.
I think so.
I think I'm just bad at jetpacks. But no, that's good to hear. It's good that like old things and new things are combining together, and it's just making the universe like that much larger, which is really nice. Show the Rebel skin, please. So unfortunately, this the character that I'm playing on, I can't pick him. I'll go back to the customization screen and check him out. But he looks really cool. He looks the weak way.
Yep.
So we only saw him just a small bit in Return of the Jedi. He gets kicked into the Starlight Pit, and that's it. So it was cool that you guys brought him into the game.
What I really love about the new heads is, or just the heads in general, is that it's not just a graphical update. It actually comes with its own voiceover set.
Cool.
So I really like how the weak way sound.
What does he sound like? Can you give a good weekly impression?
No, I can't.
No.
No. I'm here to build hype, not to decrease it.
I mean, the voiceover guys are probably really impressive.
Yeah,
like,
they're
trying to keep it like true to like the Star Wars film.
Yeah,
so it's got to be a really cool job to do VO for Battlefront.
Yes, yeah. One of my favorite VOs are actually the Imperial, like the commanders, I guess you would call them, the ones who actually like comment on your game modes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Where they have like
they're-
that British accent,
Yeah,
and
I think
evil sounding.
Yeah, all three of them are fantastic, and I like them so much. I just want to play Empire for the sake of listening to them sometimes.
Yeah. So the scattergun. So I've got some questions about the scattergun. In the trailer, it looked like the scattergun could break through personal shield. Is that really what it's designed for? Is it like an anti-personal shield star card?
It is a anti-personal shield star card,
Cool.
but it's not only meant to pierce shields. It's still just a, offhand shotgun.
Yeah.
You can just kill people with it.
Cool.
And it basically fires 2 projectiles, and if you manage to hit both of them and you are within range, then it should kill your foe.
Awesome.
But it can be quite tricky, especially if your target is moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm foreseeing that it will be fairly popular, and then
It just looks really cool.
I like it.
It looks really neat. But like that's one of the cool things that you guys get to do is you get to design all of these cool weapons and put them into the game. Like that's got to be a really neat thing because like I don't know if that was actually in Star Wars. Was it actually in the movie at one point, or is this something that you guys were?
If you read on Reddit, they've all been speculating about where it's actually from, and and of course our fans are correct. I think it's been shown in one of a previous Star Wars game.
Cool.
I know it. I just it's been a long day and I forget sometimes. But yeah, they've seen it before.
That's so cool though.
It's our weapon designer CJ. He's just the biggest Star Wars nerd in the office, and he will drag inspiration from all sources of Star Wars, whether that's a comic book or a TV show or a novel somewhere or a art book or whatever. He's just super passionate about not just weapons but also Star cards, abilities, and
I think one of the coolest things, like during the development process of Battlefront, was one of the pictures you guys showed when you were in the Lucas vault, and one of your developers had the Vader helmet in his hand. Like he just like I know he's a big Star Wars fan, so that's got to be really cool for you guys at the office just to get to work on Star Wars every day, especially if you're just a big fan of just the universe in general.
Yeah, and all of us are.
Yeah,
all of us would love to build the entire galaxy.
Sure.
But that's just the nature of game development, is that you've got to
limit yourself.
You got to limit yourself. You'll go insane. But everyone works super hard. I am super proud of being part of the team. They all work far too much than what they should.
Yeah.
It's because they care so much. It is, probably the worst thing that a developer can hear is just when people accuse you of being lazy.
Yeah.
When you're just like, we are killing ourselves to make as much as we possibly can, as quickly as we possibly can.
They also think that it's magic. Like they think that you guys like press a button and boom, a game.
But it's tricky. It's tricky if you're not part of the industry. Then it's tricky to understand what goes into it. And I am not at all bitter about it.
Yeah.
Like we love working on it, but
Sure.
And we work as hard as we possibly can.
Most definitely, and it shows. I mean, like the game is beautiful. Like it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we have some of the best artists in the world right now. They're actually at GDC presenting their stuff to the industry, their industry peers, just showing off how we build this thing.
Like Charlie and I were talking about it before. Like Level Capper was like, it's still like one of the most beautiful shooters that is out in the market right now. Like even just the lighting, or even like the volcano smoke. Like you don't see that in a lot of games, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, our lighting artist Oscar is just phenomenal. He's, he has to work so hard. He has to come in like so late when it comes to, because the map needs to be sort of done by the time he gets that lighting, or it will just destroy lighting every time you do something. But he works so hard, and like you can just see it, like especially on the outdoor maps on Solace, the Sura sub ones. It's just it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
Some of the lighting conditions.
So extraction mode, new game mode. What would be your strategy for this game mode? Like, what is like for a defender? For me on the Empire, I'm defending, trying to keep the rebels from getting the payload to the end. Like, what is your go-to strategy for this game mode?
Well, there's two things. First of all, just in general in this game mode, all levels are designed to be each checkpoint. So each level is made up of 3 areas, pretty much.
Yeah.
And they all sort of have varied combat distances. So you need to figure out which weapon should be used at what checkpoint, pretty much.
Okay.
Because some places will have long range. Some will be like your CA-87 area.
Yeah,
where
just like shotgun sprint.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the first thing, both as Rebels and Imperials, is just like, what weapon should I use when and where? That's the number one thing you need to figure out. For Empire in particular, I recommend trying to lock down an area as opposed to just rushing the shipment.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of times when Imperials manage to run in and they shut down the shipment, and then they get killed because Rebels are stationary there, and then they just, yeah, you got it. Then they turn it on again immediately. So like, yeah, it was good. You saved us 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, like it's much
back
better.
again.
It's much better if you sometimes just wait for the shipment to reach that particular point, your ambush point,
right,
and then try to set up like, you know, plenty of people, your group sitting there with stationaries and everything. Just try to lock it down. Then you can shut it down after a second, but maybe keep it locked down for 2 minutes.
Yeah. So there are certain heroes per segment of extraction, but you don't get to select the heroes that you get to play. The game automatically selects those for you.
In extraction, yes.
Yeah. So what is a good strategy for, let's say, like I saw like Leia. Leia usually is like the first hero that gets picked in Palace on the first set. So like, what would be your advice for a player going in first time?
The main thing you need to do with Leia is to use your shield, and she's usually deployed early on maps where Imperials can either have the height advantage, like on the Sorosub pipelines, where they will shoot you in the head unless you take them out. That's where a squad shield is super useful.
Yeah.
In Palace, it's sort of the same. They can unleash some pain from. It's not necessarily high ground, but they do have the advantage early on. So she's all about getting as many people like out through the spawn room and into just the corridors and just get people going. So that's how I would play her. Just use the squad shield to your advantage. Stay back. Well, now you know. I just love his face.
He's so adorable, and his little like that's it, always go to him in the Millennium Falcon laughing at the end. Like I freaking love that.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind wanting to have certain certain heroes per segment? Like how did you what was the whole thought process behind that?
Well, we know that people appreciate in Walker Assault how certain vehicles are available for certain uplinks. Like in some places the A-Wing started out. Next time it's the X-Wings, and then finally the Snow Speeders in the end. And that was sort of the same thinking we had for this, where we want to create a little bit of a story. Same as the Walker Assault is sort of a story of how they're trying to get to the end. So it's sort of tied into that, and we want heroes to feel like they don't feel overpowered in specific areas of the map.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But at the same time, feel super powerful in places where they're supposed to be super powerful. So Darth Vader almost always shows up at the end on some of the maps, especially the ones that have a long corridor or a choke point leading up to the final extraction point, because that's where he will do super good.
And that makes sense, because I mean, that's the final push. Like, we have to get our stuff together, or
then
we're
Darth
gonna
Vader
lose.
arrives.
And then this could be it. This is our saving grace.
It's just very much a. We were watching a lot of Star Wars Rebels, the TV show. And trying to create missions like that, where it feels like we just need to get out, and then the bad guys just show up at the end and they try to take you out, so it becomes a boss fight.
Yeah. So with this is the heroes versus villains, and now we have 4v4 heroes versus villains. We were just playing Nyanum. He's more of a defensive player, so you don't really want to like just go rush up and 1v1 Darth Vader.
You don't.
He's gonna lose
That's
probably. So like he's more of a kind of just sit in the back and has pop shots because he has a sniper rifle.
Yep.
So just like for especially like heroes versus villains, like how would you say I should have played?
Right. Well, first of all he's hopefully a breath of fresh air when it comes to tactics for the rebel heroes. They're usually quite aggressive. Everyone aside from Leia. Han Solo has he charges in sometimes. Luke Skywalker is obviously a melee focused, just in your face hero. So with Nyanum, we're hoping that players will see the strategic value of staying close to each other, and maybe sometimes not even, you don't always have to rush in.
Yeah.
So Nyanum, I would say what you should have done is try to find a sort of secluded place with a good overview of the main combat area.
So he's kind of like Overwatch. He's like the Overwatch
exactly.
of the rebels.
Exactly. So maybe get on top of like
up here, like on the catwalk or something.
Yeah, that could work. Or maybe on that the thing where you are right now. So that would have been my suggestion, and
I just got fetid. Got fetid.
This is his map.
Well, I mean, he's got a lot of verticality.
This is Boba's map.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion, and then hopefully Leia can actually be quite useful in combination with Nyanum. She can give you, well, obviously she will heal you, but more importantly, your turret can protect her.
Yeah.
And then she can protect you with her squad shield.
So there's some synergy between these
for sure.
Yeah.
And so that sort of makes it possible for you to keep those two guys alive, even though Luke Skywalker will usually just rush off and start chasing Imperials, which is fine. You can do that.
So, and then I had a question. There was something that I wanted to ask you, and it's completely gone. I hate it when that happens. We can maybe look at something from the chat. People are asking about the combat roll. So, what was the? How did you make that work? Like, that's a very interesting mechanic. You don't see that in a lot of shooters. You don't see like this action roll. Like, how did that go about working into the game? Because we didn't get that at release.
Well, we had it on the heroes.
Han Solo and Leia can do it.
The controls for it were slightly awkward. Like you weren't really able to, say, crouch down and do long range combat. Like take cover behind things, because if you were sort of strafing and crouching, you were then rolling accidentally sometimes, and we wanted to get away from that and just make it a little bit easier to roll. So we started by doing that. So the full key for rolling on PC is Alt, and then on consoles, both consoles, you just double tap crouch while strafing. Then you will roll.
It's a great mechanic. Like it works really well. I like it.
Yeah, we made it so you can only use it while strafing. You cannot do a snowball, cannonball forward, and you can't dash backwards.
It reminds me of like Hook. He's like rolling down the game playing.
Exactly. We didn't want to go down that route.
Yeah.
But still, we want players to feel like there's a freedom to playing, especially since this game is third person.
Yeah.
You sort of want to feel like you have more mobility. You can dash out of danger sometimes, dash out of a thermal imploder, or just in general, just to throw people off a little bit. Iterating, prototyping it, getting it up and running, determining, like really, our most dedicated hero fans will know that the combat roll animation is actually much shorter than it was for. No, it's actually much longer than the animations were for the heroes. Back then, they weren't really adding that much, so we increased how far you would roll. Just to make it a little bit more useful.
I'm ready for like an epic roll where like a smart rocket comes and then he like dodges out of the way behind cover. Like I can totally see that montage video happening on YouTube. So with Nyanum that we're playing right now, he works on like his turrets.
Yes.
So he has turrets and he has proxy mines that he can lay down. Now his turret It upgrades?
It upgrades as you get kills or do damage to heroes.
Okay, so it's almost like Greedo's confidence meter.
Indeed. However, it doesn't go back.
Okay.
So, but the downside, of course, is that if you pick up your turret or place a new turret because you want to go somewhere else, then it's reset and you need to start over again.
So I'm not but can I stack turrets?
No, you
or
can't.
Just one turret?
No,
but I can lay down multiple proxy grenades.
You can lay down multiple proximity bombs. And in modes that are more outdoors, that are larger, then Nyanam replaces his proximity bombs with a orbital strike.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
That's super cool because, you know, again, he's a pilot.
Yeah. And he's gonna call him his buddies to help.
Talk, answer some of our questions.
Yeah, Dennis, pay attention to chat. Notice me, senpai.
Yeah.
So it's only, so the combat role is not only for heroes.
No.
The combat role is for
soldiers.
everybody.
Yeah. Some of the heroes do not combat roll. Like
Yeah.
Luke does not combat roll.
Well, that would be awkward. Him rolling around with his lightsaber. He'd probably cut his arm off.
He's agile enough.
And he'd
as
look
it
like
is.
his dad.
Yes.
And we don't want him to look like his dad.
Let's see. Question now. Squad shield is now deflecting grenade. Is it only the one entering the shield or also the one going?
I think he's talking about like if you're inside the squad shield and you throw a grenade out, it actually stays inside the squad shield. It like bounces around inside, which is really scary.
Don't do that.
It's really scary when that happens. But I like that. I like how it's a safe haven. It's somewhere where you actually feel protected, not just like, well, hopefully no one hits me with something.
We just found that the squad shield was not. It was always discarded when people picked it up.
Yeah.
And because it was a grenade magnet, in that once you picked it up, then okay, I can't shoot blasters at you, but I do have a explosive of some kind, so I'm going to use that one instead. So it didn't become the safe haven that you're describing. It just became a magnet.
Yeah.
Like, don't go in that one.
Right.
So we wanted to change that. We wanted to feel like this is a shield. You go inside.
That was cool.
There are some quirky things that you can do with the
keep in mind, this isn't like we're playing on a little different. But
what was I saying? Oh yeah, the squad shield.
Squad shield. But it's not just grenades that it protects you from. It also protects you from like smart rockets and homing rockets and things like that.
Correct.
So which is
homing shot. Yeah.
That was always scary when you'd hear the beeping and then poof, you're gone.
Precis.
So it's
exactly.
Nice.
And so
the only thing that it doesn't protect you from is the cycler rifle. The cycler rifle still penetrate through?
Yes, because it contains micro shards, and those will penetrate shields. Same with the scattergun; they contain the same micro shards. So the new scattergun and the cycler rifle from long range will still pierce all your shields.
Cool.
And the ion grenade, which again we haven't seen being used overly much, and we wanted to see if we can upgrade that one a little bit. That one will automatically disintegrate a shield.
Nice.
Upon impact.
Nice.
Is there going to be hero pickups in Walker Assault and Supremacy? I'm confused. You mean, maybe. Do you mean Danny's 77A that the new heroes will be in Walker Assault and Supremacy?
I think that's what he's asking.
Yes. Yes, they will be.
But only if you have
the DLC.
The DLC. It's not like they're going to be available
to
exactly. Anybody.
So once you buy the DLC, the key is really what shows up in your hero selection screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's added to Hero Hunt and it's added to Heroes vs. Villains.
Yeah.
So you can always select which hero you want to play as.
Yeah.
And then depending on which heroes you have unlocked, they will always be available whenever the hero selection screen is there.
So Superior Craft asks, what map is this? So right now we're playing on Solace, but this is the interiors of the factories where they made all of the vehicles and whatnot for the Empire.
Exactly. Not just the Empire. Even Jabba the Hutt has ordered stuff from Surasub.
So there's some deep lore with this map.
We hope so.
Huh. I didn't see this. I just learned something new.
They want to see rolling in first person. You should show them that.
But it's the same as third person because it actually pulls your camera out. So we can do that.
Yeah, you can show that.
I'll show that.
And then
someone asked if there's a Rancor. We did show the Rancor earlier. He's dead though.
He's dead.
He's dead. He died.
And Han Solo has come out of his carbonite.
Out of his holding of kryptonite.
Yeah.
Carbonite, not kryptonite. This isn't super.
Carbonite. Yeah. Let's see.
See, Dennis, now you know what it's like to be a streamer.
Now I know.
You're trying to pay attention to chat and play a game, It's rough.
It's rough.
It's rough.
I saw something else that I wanted to answer, but
Vito is getting. He met his match. Luke shot first on that one.
he did.
All right, Bobby, come here.
If you don't have the Outer Rim, do you see the DLC heroes in Heroes vs. Villains? Yes.
You just don't have access to them.
You can't play them, but you can fight them.
Which is cool. Again, and I mentioned this earlier, it's nice that people who don't have the expansion pack, they're not missing out on the action. They're still getting a taste of it, which is cool. It's very nice.
Auto balancing, yes, that is in.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, I know. It's, again, we'll continue making iterations to it, but right now what happens is upon map switch, we will do a auto balancing. We will not do it on modes where you play twice before you move on to the next map. So you will not be forced to play, say, Rebels twice on the same map.
Okay.
So you say you play Extraction or you play Walker Assault and you manage to win the first one as Imperials. Okay, now you need to, we play again, but now you play as Empire.
Cool.
Or now you play as Rebels. But then we auto balance at the end of the round then. So you could potentially end up playing Rebels twice in a row, but never same faction on the same map.
Awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yes, most definitely. And that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Because if I am getting beat up on Walker Assault, I don't want to get beat up on Walker Assault twice. I want to beat up people on Walker Assault.
Exactly. What if someone on one team doesn't have the DLC and the other team does it? Does it 3v4? No. What happens is on Outer Rim, all game modes in the Outer Rim are for 16 players, including Heroes versus Villains. And Heroes versus Villains in the Outer Rim is 4 heroes versus 4 heroes. Heroes versus Villains in the main game is still 12 players, like before. You got him, nice one.
That was cool. So I died midair, but I landed into him.
Exactly.
I like sumo wrestled him into the ground, and he died with the Force. With the Force.
He just died on top of him, and then he died. Yeah, so Heroes vs. Villains in the main game will still be 3-on-3, but you can select your 3 heroes, so then you could see Greedo being in the game, and then basically like, no, we're not playing Boba Fett this round, let's play Greedo instead.
Cool.
So that's how it's going to be.
So someone asked release dates. We're looking March 22nd.
Yes.
So that's right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
So today's March 17th? St. Patrick's Day? Yeah. So it's,
well, you would know.
I would know. It's an American thing.
I know.
It's okay.
Well, we do have it.
Do you?
Sort of.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Swedes are cool. They do their own thing.
And what else?
XP requirement to get it level 60. Do you know at the top of your head?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of people working on the game. I know high-level stuff and some detailed stuff, but there's just...
there's a lot. It's got to be like, so what does a day in the life of Dennis Brännvall look like? Like when you like show up to the office in the morning, like what do you do?
I talk to people most of the time, figure out what we're doing, what are the problems, what are things where we can help out, where we need to just provide guidance, figure out things, discussions that need to be made. A lot of play testing. I spend at least 2 or 3 hours every day playing the game, just looking at how we can improve things. Of course, there's always meetings, especially when like you need to, figure out all kinds of stuff. Whether that's
just a lot of meet and greets with Dennis.
Meet and greets. Sometimes I actually have time to sit down in front of my computer.
Yep.
And just build some things, work on the levels. But we have an amazing design team. Well, everyone's pretty good, but the design team in particular, it's a great pleasure, great honor to work with them.
Yep.
And so a lot of it is just like asking them, what should we do about this? What are we doing about this? I got 35 tweets about this one issue last night. Can we look into it?
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. It's pretty varied, but it's a lot of fun. It's just a great honor to work on Star Wars. I keep saying that, I know, but it's just all of us at DICE just feel that way, that we just like this is this precious thing that we just want to make as much as we possibly can to the highest possible quality. And
it's your baby.
It is.
I mean, you've seen
for
this
sure.
come from just just pure concept to what it is today. So it's got to be a really cool.
Yeah. I remember
experience.
when we had our first Stormtrooper in the game running around on a empty white box. Like we've been through it, and that's always the case when you make games. It's just when you're there from the start, it's just this. It's quite amazing.
Yeah. So we just showed the combat roles in first person. It pulls you out into third person, and then once you complete the role, it takes you back into first person. So a combat role in first person would be kind of nauseating.
We tried it. We tried both having you actually spin around, and that was not. It was not a good experience.
Yeah.
And we tried just faking it by just making you wobble a little bit, but it didn't feel like that was a roll. It felt like a dash. And so we decided, no, we're actually going to pull you out because we do have a third-person component in the game.
Might as well.
So we do that. So it functions similar, I guess, to the emotes.
Can you shoot while you're rolling?
Yes, you can, but it's going to be wobbly and not very
So it's
good.
going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
But if you're like really close to someone,
you
you could pull off a cool shot.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So someone asked, are there 40 player maps in? I'm guessing in the XP. It's just 16.
Yeah,
that is
Outer Rim is close quarters. It's 16.
Cool.
And then this is the close quarters pack. Future packs will not be close quarters.
Which is exciting because I mean it's nice to get a taste of all different types of map sizes. Because I mean there's definitely are players who don't like getting beat up by an ATST or a really good X-Wing pilot who just does like strafing runs, and that's really annoying.
No, we've found that it's almost down 50-50 in terms of people who only want to play the big 40-player maps and people who never even touch them.
Yeah.
And so we've given out 3 new free big maps because we've heard what the community was asking for, that there wasn't enough maps for Walker Assault and Supremacy and Turning Point. And so we did that, and now it's time to award players who want more cargo maps, want more heroes versus villains, and just people who they prefer close quarters. They want close engagements, not a lot of running, and more use for their CA-87.
Yeah,
and,
they want their shotguns.
They want their shotguns, and we have a very varied community in terms of their shooter experience, what they prefer out of a shooter, what they want from a Star Wars game, and so we'll continue. And future DLCs will do something else.
Yeah. Someone asked more free content coming. You just didn't just stop. That wasn't it.
No. More free content is coming with this pack, of course. 2 new weapons, and then going forward, there's more stuff coming. I know. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but we're getting so many questions about things that they might have accidentally seen in this dev build.
Yeah.
Which.
I mean, it's a dev build. I mean, unfortunately,
it'll come later.
Yeah.
Some of them are not ready yet, and they will be delivered when they're done.
More to come, which is good. It's nice to know that there's more stuff coming.
There's more stuff coming. More free stuff coming.
Yeah. And I mean, again, like cosmetics, I'm sure there's definitely going to be more. We see more, hopefully more weapons and more store cards. So definitely just a lot more content, which is exciting. What is it like to do like some of the free stuff, like the Endor on fire? Like, what was the thought process behind that? Like, when you're like, let's just light Endor on fire and see what it looks like.
I think it's just we're always trying. The maps aren't necessarily set in a specific timeline.
Okay. They're within 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is a sandbox. There are, we don't see Boba Fett on Hoth, for example.
Yeah.
That stuff. So it's still a sandbox. It's still a game. But at the same time, we want players to feel like, at least get a sense for, at least in their minds, understand. Okay, where would I place this in the movie? And that's sort of how we're approaching certain things. Like Jabba's palace does have a dead Rancor. It does have Han Solo out of his carbonite, and so we're not being outright like this is when it is. This is exactly the timeline, but it gives you a hint of it, and it's the same with Endor, where something has obviously happened.
Yeah.
Maybe following the destruction of the Death Star, or You know, we're not being explicit about it, but we just want players to, you know, live out their fantasy.
Exactly, and that's what Battlefront's all about, is just making those Star Wars experiences come to life, which has always been really cool.
Yeah.
A couple times I've seen the HUT contracts. Again, I think we talked about it at the beginning of the stream, but do you want to touch on that again? Like, how do the HUT contracts work? So are they going to be available to everybody?
They will be available to everybody. This is how we're going to award or reward new weapons, star cards, and potential other customizations to our players. Whether those things are paid or free, they will all go through the HUT contract. So it's pretty much. No, I need to see you take out Vader and see how that goes.
I baited him into a trap with my mind, so I'm pretty happy about that.
He's going. I think he went right.
I think I scared him.
Yeah. So continue on. Sorry about that. I want to see 9 versus Vader. Yeah. So basically, we had multiple options of how we could deliver new content. We could either make it all level 60 required, but then for players who maybe haven't had the time to reach level 50 yet, and they still want to access the new stuff, then that might be frustrating, we felt.
Sure.
And so we wanted to do a better solution. At the same time, if we just were to make it unranked, so you don't need any ranks to, then people who they've loaded up on a bunch of credits, just waiting.
They get access to it right away.
Then you just buy everything at once, and then they sort of get, you know, maybe don't get the full experience of just unlocking something and feeling good like you've accomplished
There's
something.
no like end game experience.
No, exactly. So that's how we made this compromise of HUT contracts, which we felt is a really good way of you know, providing you with assignments that you need to complete, and you have to buy these assignments. So and there's still, I think you need to get to level 12 before you can actually start using the HUT contracts, and then each contract costs credit. So you need to pay Jabba in order to fulfill his quest.
Cool.
Which is very Jabba, I guess.
Yeah, he wants his money.
He wants his money.
Give me my money.
He's a crime lord. So that's how it works. And then once you have bought a contract with your credits, then it is possible for you. Then you just basically get a assignment, like complete this, do X amount of kills using this weapon, or get on X amount of kill streaks, and if you complete that, then you are awarded with the asset that you wanted.
You know, Reddy, he just loves Star Wars, and that's good to hear.
That's good.
I'm so happy that Reddy loves Star Wars.
Yeah. Sam Dog 1, do you have any plans to add Ithorian skin for Rebels? We're not really ready to talk about future customizations at this point. Please send your suggestions of customizations that you would like, and we will look into it.
Like the forums and like even like the subreddit, they're a fantastic place just for people just to put their ideas. And you guys are on there every day. Like I'm always seeing you on Twitter and on the forums on Reddit, like just answering people, just talking with them. Like they have like for the most part, you have like some special people on there, but for the most part, some people are very, very passionate about the game, and they're very constructive when it comes to the criticism and like ideas that they have.
And even people who might be less than polite, you know, it's still, you know, we love our community. We're super, super grateful that they bought our game and that they're having fun and that they want more stuff. We're just super flattered. You know, and we fully get that sometimes you get frustrated by your game and you want different things, and we are trying to please everyone. We will not be able to please everyone, that's a fact, but we will try to please as many as possible, and so there's so much more to come.
So if this is the first time someone has seen you, like they didn't know that you even existed, like if someone wanted to just follow you and say, hey, what's your Twitter handle?
It's dice_firewall.
Dice_firewall.
That's it.
And I just killed myself in the bubble with the smart rocket because
now you've proven.
I've proven that projectiles do not exit bubbles. Science.
So
the Relby that I'm using right now is a new semi-auto rifle that we have.
Correct.
In the game.
And it will fire as quickly as you, as a user, is able to press your button.
So if I could tap my mouse faster than what I'm doing right now, I could technically fire that.
Yes,
faster.
Yes, you should be able to.
That's exciting.
Yes. So it's unique in that way.
It is very unique.
Yes, and this is, as many of you know, this is Bosk's weapon in the movie.
And he's the cool lizard Bounty Hunter.
Correct.
The one where he's in the Death Star with Darth Vader and he's tapping his toe. If you guys didn't know, I love Star Wars movies. I could watch them over. My wife kind of sighs when I say, like, let's watch Star Wars. She's like, okay, all right.
Are you going to recite every single line now, Tim?
The scary part is I do. Like, we went and saw The Force Awakens, and like I sat her down, like, we're gonna watch 4, 5, and 6, and you know, she accepted that. She's like, all right, okay, all right, we're gonna watch them. Okay. So,
the second DLC is coming this summer.
Hashtag soon TM. Trademarked.
Yep.
Can we see Hero Hunt? So like right now we're in a playlist. So this is one of the new features that's coming with this new expansion pack, this playlist, where you can just say, I want to play this playlist and go through, and instead of just playing just Walker Assault or Supremacy or Cargo, it's going to throw in a bunch of different types of game modes within this expansion pack.
Correct.
Right? So, and I think Matt said you get about 9 to 10 hours of, from start to finish, when I start it up to when I end, I'm going to see 9 to 10 hours of just gameplay, unique gameplay.
Some modes, of course, can end prematurely. Some of them go longer. You should, like, we say around 8 to 10.
8 to 10, okay.
I mean, it depends about, you know, how balanced are the teams right now, you know, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But assuming that, you know, the matches are reasonably long, then yeah, that should be about it. I'm sure if you go quickly enough, you can go through it in less than 8 hours.
Well, the playlist, will I get the playlist on the vanilla as well?
No, not
okay.
for now. We wanted to try it out for Outer Rim now and see what the feedback is, and if there are things we need to improve, or if this is just a cool thing that our community will embrace. We have seen a lot of requests for playlists of varied modes, and we want to see how this one pans out. We tried another thing for back when we did Jakku, in that we allowed you to basically just have an additional tab, but that was not really working out. We did not like that solution at all. We felt like it was splitting the community up too much.
Yeah.
And so we're trying something new with Season Pass and the new DLC.
Cool.
But for the main game, you will have the new quick match options where you can select, you know, do you want to matchmake into any 40-player mode, or would you like to matchmake into any hero mode or any 12-player mode? So you can, if you're one of those players who will go, I just want to play either Supremacy, Turning Point, or Walker Assault. Doesn't matter which one. I just want the big experience. Then you can. Cool. Just press that one. It should help some regions some regions are struggling with finding games during certain hours, and we're hoping that a quick match option will help out with that.
So a question that has been asked several times with the same person, I saw it come up before, with the matchmaking, are people going to get split up, or like, I mean, I think we've touched on this before, but can you talk about it again? Like how, like if I'm in a party with my friends, am I going to get split up, or are we going to stay together when it auto balances?
Oh, auto balancing.
Yeah.
We never want to separate partners. That's the #1 rule. Partners should always remain the same.
Sure.
We will also basically strive towards keeping parties together as much as possible. However, you should not expect to, say if you join with 18 people in your party on a Walker Assault map and you are crushing them, then I'm sorry, we will make it fun for everyone.
Yeah. Cool. So that works. So there you go. And Shayna, Anika, that was the person who asked. You were very welcome.
You're welcome.
You were very welcome.
Do I have autism? No.
Those are ones you just ignore, Dennis.
Sorry.
Okay, Twitch streaming 101. Ignore the trolls.
Okay, sorry.
Ignore the trolls.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry. It's okay. You're learning. You're like my Padawan.
Sorry.
I am your Jedi master in the ways of Twitch.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
I just need a robe.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I do need a robe. Can we see the skins? Yes, let me show you the skin. So it's just the one new skin on the Rebel side, right? Yes.
Yes.
On the Rebellion.
Correct.
For the Rebellion.
Correct.
For the Rebellion. The weak way. We're doing it right now. I'm going to show you guys. Well, some changes were made with Fighter Squadron. We did some balancing.
Well, we removed the ability for hero ships to ram each other.
Which is, I think, is a pretty big change.
Yes, but at the same time, well, so if ships of similar size ram into each other, they both die. However, if a smaller ship try to ram a bigger ship, then only the small ship will die.
Which makes sense.
Yes, so we don't want TIE fighters ramming the Millennium Falcon and then killing both.
So is the transport ship, is that the same size as the Millennium Falcon? So if I pop my shields and rammed the transport vehicle, do I die?
We haven't done any tweaks to how you interact with the transport ship.
I think you still would take a lot of damage.
I think so.
I think you
I'm not
blow
sure.
Up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
I haven't seen people ram the transport ship and do damage to it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not paying attention. But I haven't seen that as a thing. But I have seen suicidal or previously not suicidal pilots of the Millennium Falcon.
I always felt kind of bad because like you would pop your shields just defensively because you were trying to not take damage, you're trying to mitigate it, and you would accidentally tap, Boba Fett's ship, Slave One, and then you'd feel kind of bad and you'd laugh about it. It's like I just rammed him, but I felt kind of bad about it. So, but there you go. So there's a weak way skin. So he looks pretty cool.
He looks cool.
Looks pretty neat.
I like his sound. Or his voice.
He looks kind of scary. It looks he's a little on the dead side. Like his skin's kind of.
I agree.
Something's wrong. A vitamin deficiency of some sort.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Falcon Punch is patched. I like that.
Falcon Punch. That's a good way of saying it.
So what level are the two new weapons? What level do you have to be to get? Everyone just get them, or do you have to be a certain level to get those new weapons?
It is a hot contract. And
so level 12.
Level 12. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
With this account, you have them already unlocked.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure all contracts are at 12. But then they require specific criteria in order to unlock them.
We'll keep that. I like the scatter gun. I like it. It's a really cool gun.
I like it.
I wish it was a primary.
Well, then it would be too OP.
Yeah, but let's see. Any new in-game power pickups?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, in fact.
We actually showed a little bit of it, and it's shown in the trailer as well. It's really neat looking, the anti-vehicle one.
The Disruptor Rifle.
The Disruptor Rifle.
It is anti-vehicle at heart, of course, and any anti-vehicle weapon can also be used on infantry.
Does an ion torpedo actually work on infantry?
Well, no, but this one definitely does.
Okay, I was like, well, wait a second, I don't remember.
Well, if it's a non-lock-on weapon, then yes, you can blow anyone up. I think it did.
Roll.
Yeah, I've already seen some YouTubers who had the chance to play.
Yeah.
They've done some tests, shoot the Disruptor Rifle in the head of Boba Fett, see how much damage it
How much
takes.
damage did he do?
Around 40, I think.
Oh wow, that's a pretty big punch.
It's a good one.
And it looks neat too. It's got like this really cool particle effect to it. It's very pretty. I've got the jump pack skills. I really do. So I want to prove that to you that I can use the jump pack. I just can't get out of the Rancor pit. I just can't.
You're all good.
Okay.
You need some flying space. I get it.
Yeah. It's hard. It's
getting a lot of questions on offline mode. We're not ready to talk about it yet. We're investigating, but hashtag solo matter. Solo players do matter. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I've been up for a while and getting a little tired.
You have to put it in perspective for Dennis. Dennis comes from the land of Sweden, Stockholm. And how long is the flight from Stockholm to Los Angeles? Because we're in beautiful, sunny South California.
South California. I like it here.
SoCal, as the natives like to call it.
Yes. It takes about 11, 12 hours.
That's a long time. And
it's a long flight.
And what time is it now home? It's 3:40 right now here in LA. So what time is it back home for you?
Approaching midnight, I think.
Wow. So your internal clock is all kinds of
well,
backwards.
Anyone who's been traveling the world knows.
Yeah, you guys know exactly what Dennis is feeling right now. And he's been on the stream since the start. Since the start.
I could be a Twitch streamer.
You can. You should just full-time Twitch.
Yes.
And then you can make games.
Yes.
On Twitch.
Yes, I could.
There's a section for that.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I've noticed.
So right now we're just doing blasts, and again, this is going into the playlist where I like it. I like how it kind of keeps you on your toes because I wasn't sure what we were doing. And now we're playing Blast.
Yeah. Just always keeps you on your toes. I mean, we've been playing this playlist for the entire, ever since Jack Frags got on this morning, and I'm not sure.
I still haven't seen
we
Heroes vs. Villains.
We still haven't seen it on all maps. So this is a long playlist. You will not be able to see the entire DLC just experience for the remainder of this stream either.
Yeah.
It's a long playlist.
So out of all of the new weapons, which one's your favorite?
The Relby.
The Relby.
Yeah, I'm a blaster rifle guy.
I like it though. It actually packs a really good punch.
Yeah.
I'm trying out some of the new the pistols, but I'm definitely enjoying that Relby a lot. Any more interesting questions?
Has the main menu changed? Has the main menu changed? We did show the main menu.
We can go back and look at it.
We can go look at it.
Yeah, we'll go back and look
it's
at it.
primarily the multiplayer menu that has changed.
We'll take a look at the menu, and Dennis can talk about it.
I like that idea about a hunt mode.
Someone wants to know where can they report glitches? Where should they go?
The official forums is your best bet.
Okay. Not your Twitter.
Not my Twitter. It's my. I try to interact with the fans. It's my Twitter. Yeah, you should just go to the official forums. So it's easier to just, save the URL and just refer to it. So much better.
The main menu, right here.
This is the multiplayer menu.
This is the multiplayer menu, and there's even a little hint of when we're going to see some new XP as well. Like we've got some expansion packs here, so that's kind of exciting. But we've got the 40-player game mode, 12-player game modes, hero modes. Then we can list all the modes if we want to.
That's the old thing.
Yeah. That's the old thing, where we can then also private matches, which was introduced not too long ago, which is still really exciting. We've also got the spectator camera
on private match, yeah.
And then this is where the playlist, the expansion pack playlist, where we were just talking about, where if you want 8 to 10 hours worth of gameplay and you want to do it within the expansion pack, you just click that and you're ready to rock and roll.
Correct.
So there you go. There is the new UI for Star Wars Battlefront. So, let's see here. He plays Battlefront. Tamburrito plays Battlefront.
Does he?
Very, very happy for Tamburrito. Any changes to current weapons? Is there? I mean, I'm sure the patch notes will be released.
The patch notes will be going out, and there are some changes to the star cards. We have done a slight increase to the barrage.
Which I'm really happy about.
Yes, we felt like it got hammered a little bit. So we will. It's not going to be as bad as it was at launch, but it will not be, as useless as it is right now. We want all star cards to be. We're not expecting them to be equally popular.
Sure.
But at least they should have a use, and it should be like I actually like playing with this one. We don't want nothing should be left behind.
Yeah, most definitely. Oh. So we're coming to the end of the stream. We got about I see.
Some questions on team play. I think you brought it up earlier, or at least Matt did. The new team play focus feature, where you can basically press use on any of your game mode objectives to tell the rest of your team that I am going for this one, and then see. If other people are using it, then you can see, like how many people are on what objective. And very useful for turning point, for example.
But what's nice is that it's not like this big sore thumb that's in the game. Like it's just it flows with the UI. It looks really clean.
No, exactly.
And it's a nice way for them to PTFO.
Yeah. PTFO, guys.
PTFO, guys. Especially
don't just go out.
Especially in a
streaks.
game like Extraction. Like that is all about playing that objective.
Yes. Totally.
Definitely what you need to do. So let's
still doing
see.
Team Blast.
We're still doing Team Blast.
Or Blast.
We're getting there. I really want to see Hero Hunt.
Yeah, let's see if we
I don't
can.
know if we're gonna get a Hero Hunt.
I don't know either.
Hero Hunt? Can we do Hero Hunt? That'd be awesome. Can we we got like 15 minutes left. If we could do a Hero Hunt, that'd be awesome. So I know chat is definitely asking for a Hero Hunt. So we're gonna try to get that going. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you to Dennis for just being a trooper and hanging out. But I hope you guys are excited for Outer Rim expansion pack. Again, you can get it on March 22nd for season pass holders, and then 2 weeks post for everybody else. If they don't have the season pass, they can just pick it up.
Correct.
Which is pretty cool.
So that would be the 4th or 5th of April. Yeah, it's
I
out
can't
there.
believe we're already like halfway through March now.
It goes quickly, man.
It does go very, very quickly. So we're closing down that server. We're gonna open up a new one so that you guys can see Hero Hunt, which I'm really excited about because I really like this new change because that was something that I really didn't enjoy about Hero Hunt, and that's why I didn't play it as much because it was like I'd end up being 0 and 20,
right?
Because I could never get the hero, and everyone was like Darth Vader or Luke, and would just mow everybody down. So that wasn't really a lot of fun. So you guys will hopefully be able to get to see that in just a minute or two. You know, that's a really interesting question. What is the most difficult thing on the making of this game that you can talk about?
I think the most difficult thing, or some of the most difficult things, is just making sure that the Star Wars-ness is like, you know, align on what is the proper
authenticity?
how the authenticity, aligning with everyone on what is the authentic thing to do here.
That's gonna be hard.
It's super hard. Like I said previously, like it's when they made the Jabba's Palace for the movie set, they didn't think about, well, how does this one work? Can capture the flag, you know, like, so it's always that struggle where, like, well, I want a fun cargo map, and I want it to be close quarters, and I want it to be Jabba's Palace, but I still want it to feel and look like it's Jabba's Palace. So that stuff is always the tricky part of designing games, where you know, like.
But it's going to be challenging and exciting at the same time. Cause
it's a great challenge. It's just exciting, it's fun, and the best part is when it does come together, and you can sort of look at it and see, like, wow, we actually got like the pig guards are in, the Rancor is in there, and like it you know, it looks like the movie. But it's still, we've taken the creative liberties where we could.
Cool. So we actually got into a game of Hero Hunt. So let's see if we can pop into this and see how we can actually like highlight these changes, which I'm very, very excited about. I like how everyone potentially has a chance of playing the hero. People that get to play the hero they get pushed down to the bottom, so everyone gets like an equal chance. So very, very excited about that. So we'll go through a couple times and then we'll probably end the stream. But again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. To those that have been watching since the beginning of Jack Frag stream and jumped around to Level Caps and Mine, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here and just showing your support. And I'm glad you guys are getting a first look at this new expansion pack for Star Wars Battlefront, which, I mean, the team is definitely very excited to finally get to show the public.
Definitely.
I'm sure there's a lot of sleepless nights that have gone into the making of just this DLC.
We had a question on the new, it's not technically a DLC power-up, it is a free power-up that comes with the DLC, so you will be able to use it on the normal maps as well.
So how many of those are we going to see? Is it just one, or are
there's one right now.
Okay, there's just one right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So Leia just got destroyed, and here is the pie chart, the spinning pie chart, and as you can see, he had a very high chance of getting it. He got it, and then it goes down to 0. So then he'll go down to the bottom of the list, and then everyone will move up. And then even if that person at the top doesn't get it, the percentage will just continue to stack until eventually they get it, because math.
Correct.
And then it'll reset and go down and continue.
Yeah, so. And with the higher player count, you will not see heroes going on the type of kill streaks that we saw before.
Which is really, like, sometimes it's funny to watch these mobs chase after the heroes. I mean, it really is.
That's a 9 turret. Stay away.
It's Hero Hunt. Oh, no,
he's got, you know, he's doing well. He's gotten 6 kills now. That's pretty good for a round of Hero Hunt now.
And people are starting to populate the server, so hopefully we'll start seeing those mobs go through. But it's fun to see. But I like this. And then there's 3 people that get put into the pool, and then it's just up to chance, which is fun. So how do you make that? What do you mean? What goes into it? Like, how do you get a spinning pie chart in the game? Oh, that's got to be hard.
Well, we have an excellent engineer who built it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's you know, it's we wanted something fun and interesting for play. From behind.
Luke from behind. Come on, Luke. Let's just be gentlemen here and at least look at me when you kill me.
We're the streamers. Come on, like.
Yeah, we're talking to chat. We're trying to be entertaining, and you slice me from behind. Like that's not very Jedi-like.
That's uncool.
I think it's against like the Jedi handbook code.
Probably.
So.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted an interface that was just fun and interesting to look at, with the sort of the spinning chance of getting a hero, so that it was still entertaining for people who might not be in the wheel right now.
Well, it's kind of funny too, because like you're kind of like crossing your fingers, like
Yes,
come on, and then you're like, oh, I didn't get it. So it is fun.
Exactly.
But so this is just a quick look into how Hero Hunt is going to play. We're coming up to the end of the stream. So before we end the stream, we're going to take a quick look at the trailer again. But Dennis, again, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for answering all the questions. And chat, thank you for tuning in. And thank you to those at the follow button. If I miss any resubs, new subs, any of that, thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. My name's Tim, aka Darkness429.
I am Dennis, Dice Firewall.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you.